Hey guys, this is Spooky Lachuga. Today I wanted to talk about the new extraction shooter that's going to be coming out in September called Marathon. Over the weekend they went ahead and showed off a bunch of gameplay, some cinematic stuff, and while I was initially more pumped to know this was coming on Saturday, once I actually watched some of it, initially I was a little more like, oh, okay, well this looks just like an extraction shooter. What does it actually do gameplay-wise that's different? And right now, from what they've shown, the gameplay from PvP looks pretty similar to something like Delta Force, whereas, and Cycle Frontier, actually, for that matter. Not just because of the aesthetic of it being like futuristic, but because the gunplay or the healing mechanics look to be about the same, to be honest. And although I think Cycle Frontier, that was a bit different, like armor played a different role than it just being shields like it is here. But still, the game, like I said, just initially didn't really wow me, but it might feel different in my hands. I'm going to be trying to get into the alpha. We'll see. I promise, Bungie, if you see this video, I'm not going to be sharing any gameplay or anything like that. I do want to just talk about how I felt afterwards, but, I get it. But either way, so the game, at least aesthetically, looks amazing. I mean, the art design, the gameplay, it looks good. It looks like it's solid. It doesn't look like it's a bad game by any means. And I think a lot of people are a little annoyed that it just, to them, feels like another extraction shooter. But also, just to kind of point this out, there's a lot of people who have always wanted to play extraction shooters on console, and up until this announcement, or when Delta Force comes out, which actually should be technically before Marathon does, we haven't had good extraction shooters on consoles. We've had Vigor, we've had DMZ. That's about it. There's been nothing else to really fill that role. And I think with this game coming out, we're going to see a big success in something, and I hope that it pushes forward this being in the mainstream and we get more developers making really cool extraction shooter games. As a genre, I've always enjoyed the idea of it ever since I've heard Escape from Tarkov was coming out and how hardcore all of the loot and everything would be, how everything would feel. While I don't necessarily enjoy how the health system works as much in Tarkov compared to something like Delta Force, I still love that Tarkov fits a niche, and that's why it keeps the players it does. I hope that this game does the same thing. Now, I heard that they're doing stuff with events that are completely different than a lot of other extraction shooters, and that kind of fills me with hope that this hits a niche that just isn't there for a lot of people, not just on PC, but just in general, on console, wherever you play it, that everyone who plays it goes, wow, like this is actually something fun to play. And not just for the short term, how like Call of Duty does this thing where it's like there's seasons on purpose because they need the content to feel fresh eventually, again, for more players to show up. I'm hoping that this game isn't just like that, few weeks, maybe a month or two kind of like hype train type of deal. I'm hoping that this game actually thrives and people play and enjoy it. I also wish the same thing for Delta Force and Team Jade, to have a really good extraction shooter that now would exist on consoles as well. I'm just excited. I'm excited for anybody who's playing on Xbox or PlayStation, because good things are coming y'all's way, with more powerful consoles coming out and everything. I'm just excited that you guys are going to get more access to things that you previously just couldn't really play. And it kind of excites me that one of Bungie's statements on a live stream somewhere was that with this game, their idea was that they've always done stuff that's innovative, from like Halo, getting like the way the controls worked with Halo 1, how they've pretty much designed that first person type of game design. They're trying to do basically the same thing with Marathon, but push it into the mainstream. So extraction shooters aren't just a niche as much as it is an actual full-on game. Just like, or I mean, not game, but genre, just like how Battle Royale is, how popular that got. They want to do basically that, but for extraction shooters, and I hope that they succeed in that. The more people we see in games like this, the more likely we'll actually get better and better games. We'll get more developers who are interested, who have maybe wanted to do it but never did before because it didn't seem like it might be the most profitable thing to do. But now we're going to probably have more mainstream things happening for extraction shooters. And for me personally, as someone who enjoys that in survival games, that's exciting. That's really good news for me. Now, I'm also just going to, not to be, just to be candid, I am probably rooting a bit more for Delta Force because that will be coming out not just first for consoles, but I personally like the game a lot. I like how everything feels in this game, right? It feels like Call of Duty, but it's not. And it just has a unique enough feel to it that I think it exists and should continue to exist well in the extraction shooter genre. But I also hope that this game cuts into its own niche and has its own player base that keeps these people connected, ready to play the game again the next day. Just thinking about the game, thinking about the lore, thinking about everything, because that's how I am with Delta Force, and I hope that you guys get that too. Now, who knows? Maybe if I end up playing the alpha and I love it, maybe I'm going to be one of those guys now too, and I'll do marathon coverage and stuff. I probably still was going to regardless, but, currently right now with how things are, I'm still kind of sitting on the idea that I think I like Delta Force more, but it's an opinion, so sorry about that. I kind of rambled on for a little bit, but I hope that you guys, enjoyed the video. If you have a differing opinion or a different view, please, by all means, go ahead and comment below. I do like to comment and talk to everyone who comments. Sorry. I'll probably talk back if you talk some smack, but, other than that, let's just, try to keep it civil down there, and let me know how you guys feel about it. I'm optimistic, but I am also a little hesitant. I'm cautious on it, but I'm curious what you guys think. Go ahead and let me know down below, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Oh, and one last thing I forgot, because I do this at the end of every single video now. Let us pray.